Hey guys, welcome back to another video. We are going to be working this most adorable Amigurumi tea cup or coffee cup, and you can use this as a pin cushion. You see I have my needles in it, and I have two tea bags also assembled on there. This is just a fun and a quick project. It's very easy. It is stuffed, and you can use it for, like I say, a pin cushion. You can use it as a decoration. You can use it for a little girl's tea party. Just a very fun project to do. You can make it in a couple different sizes, and this is by Lion Brand. The pattern number is 80219AD. So you can pull that pattern up, and you will need 3 different colors of yarn, more or less if you like. And an H-millimeter hook, so just grab what you need and we will get started with this fun project. Okay, so for the Amigurumi Tea Cup Pincushion, I have chosen my 3 colors. So I've got a basic white for the tea bag itself. I've got this little ashy pink or rose for the cup itself, and then I've just got a standard cappuccino color for the actual coffee or tea, whatever color you want to use. You want to make it coffee, you want to make it tea and use like a green, that's totally up to you. And then of course you're going to need fiber fill, or you can use the pellets, which is what the pattern calls for, but I've made one of these before and I use the polyfill, so both of them work the same way. It's up to you, whatever you have on hand or whatever you prefer to use. And of course a 5mm hook. So we will get started with this. So grab everything you need on hand. Pull up your pattern from Lion Brand, which is 80219AD, and we will get started on this fun project. Okay, just a minor adjustment. I'm not going to use the original rose color I had. It was a little bit flimsier than I wanted it to be for my actual cup. So I changed just to a mauve color. And also you are going to need a stitch marker because you will be working in continual rounds. So we are going to start with the color that you want your teacup, and you're going to chain 2. Now you're going to work 6 single crochet into your beginning chain. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so pull that tail, and you want to make sure that you close that up. Okay. And now you're going to place your marker in the stitch for the beginning round. You can move that as you go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so what we're going to do is round 2, you're going to work 2 single crochet in each stitch around. So go ahead and put that first single crochet into that first stitch. You can pull that up and then just go ahead and put your stitch marker into that stitch. Okay, so that's going to be the beginning stitch. Now go ahead and put that next stitch into the same stitch. So that's your 2 stitches. So you're going to put 2 in each. So this is going to be 4. That's 6. 8. 10. And 12. So you basically doubled your stitches, and that should bring you back up to your stitch marker. Okay, so round 3 you want to do 2 single crochet into the next stitch. So you want to take that marker out, do your first of the 2 stitches, put your marker back in that first one, and put your second stitch back in that same stitch. So you've got 2 right there. You want to put 1 in the next stitch, so we're increasing still. Okay, so work this around. In your next stitch you want to put 2, and in the next stitch you'll put 1. And that's how you're going to work this around. So 2 in the next, 1 in the next, 2, and then 1. And this is just basic for any circle increase. Same for hats. It's just a basic formation for increase. Okay, so 2, and then 1 in the last stitch. So you'll have a total of 18 stitches. You can go ahead and take that stitch marker out. Now for round 4, you want to work only in the back loops. So let's go ahead and work in the back loop of this next stitch and put your marker into that stitch. Okay, so we're just working a basic single crochet round, but in back loops. Basically, it's just sort of like working shoes or booties. This is going to give it a ridge, and then that way your little teacup will have a way to sit with a ridge, and it'll be able to sit flat. So just work. And if you look on the bottoms of your teacups, they have a ridge on them. Okay. Alright, so once you're up to your marker, you can go ahead and take that out again. For round 5, you're going to do 2 single crochet in the next stitch. So now you're working back in both loops. So let's put 1 stitch in that next one. Put your marker back. Okay, that was your first stitch. Now put the second stitch in there as well. And then you're going to single crochet in each of the next 2. We're still increasing. 1 and 2. Now you're going to increase in the next. And now 1 in each of the next 2. Increase. And single in the next 2. Increase. And then single in the next 2. And increase. Single in the next 2. Increase. And single in the last 2. Okay, so we will continue now with row 6. Alright, so round 6, let's take our stitch marker out of here. Now we're going to put 2 in the next stitch, so let's do our first one. Put your marker back in and put the second one in, and then you're going to single crochet in the next 3. And increase in this next stitch. Okay, now 3 singles in a row, 1, 2, and 3. Now increase. And then just 3 singles in a row, and you'll work that around. Increase. 3 singles. Increase. 3 singles. Increase, and the last 3 will be singles. take that marker out. Now row 7, you will put 2 into this first stitch. So let's do the first one. Put our marker back and put our second one in the same stitch. And now this is going to be just like the previous row, only you're going to do 4 singles in a row instead of 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you'll do your increase in the next stitch. Now 4 stitches in a row. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now increase. And 4 singles in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4. Increase. 1, 2, 3, 4. Increase. 1, 2, 3, 4. Increase. And our last 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so now you should have a total of 36 stitches. Now for rounds 8 through 14, you are simply going to build up your teacup wall. You're just going to work single crochet around. And at this point, you can just flip this the right way. It's going to do that for you anyway. And if you look right here where we did round 4, that is where you see your little ridge where we only worked in the back loops, and that's going to allow your little teacup to have a bottom where it's just going to sit up for you. Okay, so basically you can take this out and move it up as you go. Me personally, I just leave it. I can tell where I started single crocheting around and not increasing. So then you're just going to simply go into that stitch and start working single crochet rows around. And again, you'll do it for rows 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And then you will fasten that off, and then we will start the next section of our teacup. So I will meet you back up for that part of the project. Alright, so we have our cup complete, and you see the bottom there where it sits nice and steady on the table, and I've got my 14 rows built up, and you don't have to worry about the little tail inside there. If you want to shorten it, that's fine, but that's just going to be on the inside. So now we're going to set that aside. Now you're going to start with the actual tea or the coffee part. So that's going to be your color B. So now what we're going to do is we're going to pretty much do the same technique. You're going to chain 2, and you're going to start with 6 single crochet into the first chain. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so again we're working in rounds, so you're going to put 2 single crochet in each stitch. So here's 1, and you can go ahead and put your marker in if you need to, and I'll put mine in a few rows. I don't really need to put mine in this early. Okay, so just put yours in as needed. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Okay, so that's 2 in each stitch around. Now row 3, you're going to put 2 in the next stitch and 1 in the next, which is the same as what we did, and you want to end up with 18 stitches. So 2 in the first and 1 in the next. So that's 3. Then you're going to put 2 in the next, 1 in the next. So that's 6, 2 in the next, 1 in the next. So that's 9. And that's how you can count without putting your stitch markers in. So you work that around. Okay? 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. Okay? So once you get 18 stitches, that's your third round. Now round 4, you're just going to start with 2 in the first, and then you're going to single crochet in the next 2 and work that around. Same as we did for the cup. So that's 4. So then increase in the next one and single crochet in the next 2. So that's 8. Okay? So 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24. Okay? Now round 5, you're going to do 2 in the next, which is your increase. And then you're going to do 3 single crochets in a row. 1, 2, 3. And that's the pattern you're going to work around. Okay? So increase, and then 3 single crochet in a row. Okay? So here's your increase. 3 single crochet in a row. So that was 10 altogether. So there's 11 and 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, there's 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. Okay, and you see I'm still ending up right here where I should, even with my tail. Now round 6 is the last row, so you're going to do the same thing. You're going to increase in this next stitch, and you're just going to single crochet in the next 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's going to be your pattern. So that's 6 stitches. So now you're going to increase in the next, then you're going to single in the next 4 and work that around. So that's 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, and then you want to increase. 35, 36. Okay? So now you have your actual tea or coffee, whichever you choose that to be. You can cut your tail, and now you're going to fasten this off. I would leave a good tail, because I think we're going to have to use this one to tie or sew this around. And if not, you can trim it back. Okay? So that is going to be your coffee or your tea, whichever one you're going to choose to use. Okay, so now let's go back to our color A. We are going to start our handle. So let's start with a chain 2, and you're going to work 5 single crochet into the first stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay? And you want to make sure and pull that closed best you can. We're still going to work in rounds. So what you want to do, and you can use a stitch marker if you want, but I don't know if you would need it here. That's your choice totally. And this is just simple. All you're going to do is work a single crochet in each round. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or each stitch. So go into that first stitch, and then you're just going to work a single crochet. And if you feel like this is too tight of an area, you can put your stitch marker in. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, because this part gets a little tedious. Now you can flip this inside out too, and that will help a bit, where you're not working so much inside, downward inside the tube, and you can just go around. But as it gets a little bit longer, it'll be a little easier. Okay, but if you don't want your stitch marker, I find sometimes in these smaller areas it gets to be a little bit of a nuisance for me to use the stitch marker, because you're just going in continual rounds anyways. So if you just count 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and if you want to keep up with your rows, just use your pencil and paper and just write down your rows as you go. So that's all you're doing for the handle, and you're going to work this handle until your piece measures 3 inches from the beginning, and see, you don't even have to keep up with the row count, just the size of it. So again, 1, and yeah, this is a little tedious. 2, 3, 4, and 5. So just work this handle until it measures 3 inches, and then just finish it off. Make sure you leave a nice tail. And I'll be back with you once mine is complete. Okay, so I finished my handle, and you could stuff it if you wanted to. I didn't really need to stuff mine. It's so narrow, and if you choose to stuff it, that's your choice, and that's fine. So now we're going to make the tea bag, and you need to make 2 of these. So I went ahead and made 1, and it's very simple to do. So all you're going to do is take your color C, and you're going to put that on your hook. You want to chain up 5. And all you want to do, single crochet in the second from the hook, single crochet across. So you will have 4 stitches. You want to turn, chain 1, and you're just going to single crochet across. Then you'll do that 1 more row, chain 1 and turn, single crochet across, okay, and turn. And it doesn't say chain 1 here, but it's just a little easier to do the process. You want to single crochet 2 together, 2 times. So go into your first stitch and pull up, go into your second stitch, pull up, yarn over and pull those 2 together, and do that also in the last 2 stitches. Okay, that gives you a little bit of a point there. Alright, and you want to leave a little bit of a tail there. That's going to, I left it on both of them. You don't have to, and if it's too long you can always clip that off. But I'm going to tie mine together because it'll look normally like my regular tea bags. Cut that bottom tail off, and then what I'm just going to do is I'm going to tie both my little tea bags together just like this. And you can actually, if you wanted to stuff that and sew it together and make it one, you can. Just be creative. Or you could leave it as 2 tea bags. Just use your imagination, play around with it. But I'm just going to tie these together just like this and pretend like I have 2 tea bags. And if you even wanted to, you could embroider a T or a C, depends on what you're having. And yes, I know I'm having coffee, but play along with me. So now what you want to do is you want to get yourself a needle. Hopefully this one's big enough. And we need to start assembling. Okay, so what I'm going to do is we need to start with our handle, because I think it's going to be easier to put on if we do it before we stuff everything. So just go ahead and thread. Okay, I'm going to have to find me a bigger needle. Okay, so go ahead and get your handle, and you just want to position your handle, and you'll start at one end. And I'm just going to kind of go through the bottom, just like that, where I caught both sides. And then I'm going to go through the bottom again and come back on the inside. So I went from side to side, just like that. And I'm just trying to catch both sides at the same time, just like that. Now, like I say, just work it however you can work it best to sew it on. Okay, and then working from the inside down, to use the same strand, you can weave through your inside loops here to where you can come out the bottom and go right straight into the bottom part of your handle. And you don't even have to cut that yarn. Just like that. And then just go in and out the bottom. Just do that a couple times. But make sure you go on the outside of the handle and then come through the middle and then on the other side. That way you can get it all really good. See? And then you can tie it off. You can come inside and go under some of these loops and make yourself a knot and fasten that off. And you don't have to worry about there being a straggler loop. It's going to be stuffed anyways. There's your handle. Okay, and I'm going to use the polyfill like I stated, because I don't usually buy the pellets. And you can stuff more as you go, and you may want to do that depending on how heavy you want it stuffed. So let's get this threaded. And then we will put our coffee top or our tea top on top of it. Okay, so then you just set that on top, and then all you're going to do is start weaving this in and out. You know, you're just going to follow. You'll follow along. You'll whip stitch that. And you can do it in both loops. You choose to do it just in the back loops. You can do it in the front loops. You know, there's different varieties, different ways to sew things on. And if you check out on my playlist, I have different techniques and ways to join things. So you just keep going around. And like I say, you could keep stuffing it, but you don't want to stuff it so much that you make it look silly. But we'll see if that's going to be too much stuffing by the time we get around. And this is going to be cool. Like I say, I've made one before. Not sure what I did with it. I think I gave it away to somebody. These make little, if you do it in like a 3-weight yarn and smaller hook, these are really great ideas for little girls' tea parties. For pretend play, food, like kitchen play. Okay, still going around. That's why I say make sure you leave a good amount. Now I think the amount of stuffing I've got is probably going to be just fine. And I'm always drinking more coffee anyway, but we'll put a tea bag on it anyway, just for the sake of the video. Stuff that in there. And my little teacup. I think my coffee's overflowing. Okay, so now you just want to hide that strand. Okay, and now all we're going to do is you want to thread one side if you did your tea bags like I did, and you can just pick one side, just thread that through, and I'm going to let mine dangle a little bit, and you can choose to do this part however you like. And I'm going to hide those ties. Everything hides well when you've got stuffing. And I've got my 2 little tea bags and my little teacup. And there you have your little teacup, or your pincushion, whatever you choose to call it. And I think the last one that I did, I actually did embroider a T on there and made it look more realistic, but this is just too adorable. And you can put your needles or your pins, whatever you do have, if you choose to use it for that. And These are just as cute as they can be. And they sit up because of the little ridge that's on the bottom that we did put from that one round. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial and have fun with this and work this any way you choose to work it. And they don't take that long to work up, so keep this in mind for the holidays or gifts and things like that. So until next time, happy hooking!